We're living through a tectonic shift in the world of computing. I'm talking about something as big as the move from giant mainframes to personal computers back in the 80s. But here's the twist. This time, it's all happening in reverse. All that computing power is being pulled back, re-centralized, and it's happening so quietly most of us haven't even noticed.
And it all comes down to this really simple question. Have you tried buying a new computer lately? If you have, you've probably noticed something weird. That sweet spot, the affordable, do-it-all machine, it's gone. It feels like your only choices are either a ridiculously expensive, high-end workstation or a cheap piece of plastic that's already outdated the day you take it out of the box. So, what on earth is going on?
At the heart of it is the death of the mid-range PC. You know, that reliable people's computer that could handle your work, a little bit of gaming, your creative projects, all for a reasonable price. That's vanishing. In its place, we're getting what's called the barbell effect. All the value is getting pushed to the two extreme ends, the ultra-premium and the ultra-cheap, while the middle is just collapsing.
So who's the culprit? What's the driving force behind this massive market earthquake? Well, it's the absolutely ravenous, completely insatiable appetite of the artificial intelligence industry.
To really get this, we have to talk about one specific piece of tech, high bandwidth memory, or HBM. Now, this isn't your normal RAM. I want you to picture a skyscraper of memory chips, stacked vertically, one on top of the other. It's incredibly fast, and it's the absolute lifeblood for AI hardware like NVIDIA's H100s. Simply put, without HBM, the AI revolution grinds to a halt.
And this is where the economics get kinda brutal. For AI companies, the demand for HBM is what economists call inelastic. That's a fancy way of saying they don't care about the price. They have to have it. They will pay almost anything to get their hands on it. And that intense price-is-no-object demand is warping the entire market, pushing the needs of regular consumers like you and me right to the back of the line.
Okay, so let's zoom in. Let's go right down to the factory floor. Because this isn't just about money. This is a story about the physical, unchangeable limits of manufacturing.
Everything, and I mean every single modern chip, starts its life right here, as a silicon wafer. This is the raw material. You can think of it as the most valuable real estate on the planet, and there's only so much of it to go around. A fierce, invisible battle is being fought on every single one of these shiny disks.
And here it is. This is the core of the conflict. The normal RAM that goes in your laptop, that's DDR5, and that super specialized AI memory, HBM, they are made in the exact same factories, using the exact same machines. They're in direct competition for every square millimeter of silicon. It's a true zero-sum game. Every wafer used to make HBM for AI is a wafer that cannot be used to make the RAM for your next computer.
Now, this table really lays out the tough choice that manufacturers are facing. On one side, you have our regular consumer RAM. It's basically a commodity. The profit margins are thin. On the other side, you have HBM. The profits, absolutely massive. But, and this is a huge but, it is incredibly inefficient to produce. So if you're a manufacturer, where are you going to focus your resources? It's a no-brainer. You're pouring everything into HBM.
And this chart, wow, this is what we mean by inefficient. This is what's called the wafer penalty. Just look at it. For the exact same amount of that precious silicon, look how many gigabytes of consumer memory you can produce. It's that huge bar on the left. Now look at HBM. It's just a tiny sliver. AI's demand isn't just eating up resources. It's eating them up in the most inefficient way possible. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it does. Building those memory skyscrapers is incredibly complex, and that complexity multiplies the chance of something going wrong. If there's a single microscopic flaw on just one of the dozen layers in that HBM stack, the whole thing, the entire expensive, complex stack, is often completely useless. It's garbage. They call it compound yield loss. So the industry isn't just reallocating silicon away from you, it's literally burning a chunk of it in the process.
Okay, so let's connect all this factory floor drama back to what you and I actually see. How does this translate to the laptops in the store and the prices we have to pay? Well, it leads to this fantastic German concept, E-waste ab Werk. That means e-waste straight from the factory. It perfectly describes this new class of low-end devices that are so fundamentally compromised, so underpowered from day one, that they're basically obsolete the moment you buy them.
And it's all a direct result of hardware shrinkflation.
You've heard of this with your groceries, right? Paying the same for a smaller bag of chips. Well, it's happening to our computers. To keep a laptop at that magic $500 price point, they're making hidden downgrades. They're putting in slower RAM, less durable storage drives, and here's the real kick in the teeth, they're soldering those parts directly onto the motherboard. That means no upgrades, ever, which kills the secondhand market and means when your machine gets slow, your only option is to throw it out and buy a new one.
Now, this hardware crisis isn't just about the device on your desk. It's actually creating the perfect conditions to push all of us, regular people and huge businesses, toward a totally new model, renting our computing power instead of owning it.
Think of it as an economic pincer movement. From one side, you've got the supply squeeze. Good, powerful computers are becoming scarce and really expensive. From the other side, the software we use every day, even simple chat apps, is getting more and more bloated and power hungry. So your local machine is struggling to keep up, and the only affordable escape hatch seems to be a monthly subscription to the cloud.
For businesses, this is like déjà vu, a return to the mainframe model of the 1970s. Instead of buying powerful PCs for every employee, which is a big upfront cost, they just rent virtual PCs from Microsoft or Amazon. The employees get a cheap, powerless, thin client on their desk. The company saves a ton of money at first, but in exchange, they become completely dependent on their cloud provider, totally locked in.
All right, so let's zoom all the way out. What are the really big implications here? Because this goes way beyond what computer you can afford. This is more like an architectural redesign of our entire digital society.
Over 90%. Let that number sink in for a second. Over 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductor chips are manufactured in one single place, Taiwan. This makes our entire digital world, from our laptops to the very cloud servers we're being pushed towards, unbelievably fragile. It's all resting on a single geopolitical hotspot.
And this really shows what's at stake. As we move into the cloud, what are we giving up? Well, we're giving up control. We're becoming renters of the very tools we need to work and create. Privacy is fast becoming a luxury item, something only for people who can still afford powerful offline machines. And maybe the most troubling thing of all, the next generation might grow up seeing computers as just lockdown appliances for consuming media, not as open systems for creation and innovation.
And all of this forces us to confront a really startling idea. What if the entire era of personal computing, the idea that every individual could have this incredible general-purpose machine on their desk under their own control, what if that was just a brief, 50-year-long historical anomaly that is now, quietly, coming to an end?
Which leaves us with one final question to think about. This shift from owning things to renting them is happening all over our economy. But when it happens to our primary tool for thought, for communication, and for creation, when we no longer own our own tools, what do we truly stand to lose?